Human rights activists in Mombasa are up in arms over the alleged extrajudicial killing of a 16-year-old boy. And as our reporter Francis Ontomwa tells us, the police claim the boy was part of a group of petty criminals, even as the family maintains that he was a simple secondary school student. Let's now bring in Francis, now live from the mortuary in Mombasa County, for more details on this very disturbing story. Many thanks for joining us, Francis, on KTN News Desk. The police have a different story. The family has a different story. What exactly is happening at the mortuary right now?
Well, good afternoon, Akisa, and here at the Coast General Hospital mortuary, it's everything to do with Tony Katana. Justice for Tony Katana, a 16-year-old boy who was actually killed by the bullet on the night of Friday. Actually, what has been coming out of this particular case is quite conflicting, because what the family, the account that the family gives and what the police actually say happened are two different accounts that actually are conflicting. The police insist that the little boy was actually part of a gang that has been terrorizing people in the areas of Kongowe and Kisauni. Well, the family maintains that actually the boy was a boy of good manners and actually was not part of any sort of gangs as being alluded by the police. And that is the story that we are still following for you right here from the Coast General Hospital mortuary. Well, human rights organizations have come out to actually pile pressure for answers to this particular killing. This not being the first time that there are suspected extrajudicial executions here in the Coast region. And to speak to me right here beside me is a familiar face in the face of human rights activism in the Coast region, and this is Halid Hussein. Halid Hussein, certainly not the first time that we are witnessing such sort of affairs.
Very true. Unfortunately, this is not the first time. The case of Tony Katana, a 16-year-old Form 2 student at Harvard's High School, is one of the many other cases that we've continued to receive of suspected extrajudicial killings. It's unfortunate that we are losing our youth in this manner. It's unfortunate that we don't seem to have answers to the continued insecurity within the region. But one thing is for sure, is that we can't continue in this trend. Something has to be found, a solution has to be found urgently, because we must have a way forward that respects human rights, that respects the law, that respects the Constitution of Kenya.
You are part of course, the preliminary was actually being conducted in the room.
Yes.
Could you give details to what had transpired exactly?
Yes, according to the autopsy that has been undertaken this morning, we've confirmed that the body had 2 bullet wounds, one at the backside near the right buttock area, and the second bullet wound is on the left cheekbone. According to an eyewitness who was with the victim at that point in time, he was first shot at the back and he was immobilized. And what we still don't understand is why the second shot was taken to the face, which according to the doctor is what took away his life. Yes.
Extrajudicial killings, not a new subject here in the Coast region. What are the statistics?
Yes, extrajudicial killings unfortunately are getting out of hand now. From the statistics that we have, this is the 72nd case of extrajudicial killing plus disappearances. And we are very concerned that we seem to have decided that the way forward is by execution. It's not something we want to see happening. Yes, we admit that there is crime in Mombasa. Yes, we admit that there is lawlessness, but we must find a solution that is not extra-legal, that is not extrajudicial killings, because at the end of the day, we must find a way forward to address insecurity in Mombasa.
Well, some look at it as a classical example of Kwekwe Mwandaza's execution. Perhaps you've been piling a lot of pressure to some of these cases. Have you seen any fruition in any of these particular cases that you've been trying to follow?
Yes, I would say that majority of the cases remain unresolved. Extrajudicial killings cases remain unresolved, but we've also seen some cases that have been taken forward to our satisfaction. Kwekwe Mwandaza is one classic example, and we've seen how it has ended. We have the case of Margaret Njeri, who was beaten by the police some time back. And more recently, and very popular, I guess, across the country, was the case of the lawyer, Willie, who again, there claims that it was extrajudicially executed, but then we've seen action being taken. So we can't say that, completely no action is being taken, but what we are saying is that it's not enough. We acknowledge the efforts that are being made, but the government, particularly the Inspector General of Police, must do more to address cases of extrajudicial killings committed by the police.
Lastly, the police feel that the boy had indeed posed some danger to them, and that is why they ended up shooting the boy. Do you feel that it was necessary?
In our opinion, the work of the police is to apprehend and present suspects in court. Judging from the first bullet at the backside, the report, preliminary investigations show that the boy had already, been demobilized. So he wasn't posing any threat. What we fail to understand is why they had to take the second shot to the face, because the entry of the bullet was from the front side, showing that the police or whoever was responsible shot from the front when the person was actually lying down. So these are answers we need, and that's why the report will be shared with IPOA, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, so that they can carry out thorough investigations. We don't want to speculate, but if any person, any police officer is found guilty of using excessive force, then we expect the full wrath of the law to take its course.
Well, thank you so much, Khalid, for finding time to speak to us.
Thank you so much.
Well, that has been the voice of a human rights activist, a familiar face in the region here, in the Coast region. And of course, pressure is mounting for our police officers, of course, give answers to this particular execution. And human rights organization actually putting the number at 70 of people who've either been executed or have disappeared mysteriously. That is a case that, or rather a story that we are still following from this end of Coast region, Akisa.
All right, thank you very much for that report, Francis Ontomwa. Definitely a story that we will be following up on. And Francis Ontomwa is joining us from Mombasa County.